Crispy and yes, yes. And to the left of this wonderful star is handsome random dude. To start by asking you to tell a little bit, very general, about the Mongrels and when did it air, when did you film it, different things. And after that, we're going to screen the first episode. They last about half an hour. Yeah. And after that, we have a short kind of Q&A session about that episode. Then we have another episode. And after that, we're going to have a lot of blah where you guys can ask questions. But remember, we have a Meet the Guest of Honor panel tomorrow where Warrick will also be there. So, I mean, this is specifically about Mongrels here. And he will arrive at the end. 10:15, 10:30. So, depending on how long we go on for, I really hope we go on for long enough. I'm going to go downstairs and run and just grab him, pull him out of the car and say, "Hi, I'm Pinky, and this is your pain." I take him by the hand and lead him up into the madness that is this asylum. And then he will come here, and then he has a little surprise for us that Andy doesn't know about.
Really?
But that means that we have to stay here for long enough for him to actually arrive. So that's fine. But if you start by telling a little bit about the background of Mongrels, and after that we'll screen the first episode, yeah? Welcome to the first event.
Okay, so this is very new to me. This is my first convention of any sort I've been to, so bear with me. I'm still pointing my feet on how to sort of good people. Normally I'm hiding behind something, you can't see me, so this is tricky. Firstly, who has seen Mongrels? Woo! Wow!
Okay,
this is going to be easy. So Mongrels was something we tried to get off the ground about, I think we started doing this in 2005, 2006. And a colleague of mine who I'd worked on a children's programme for the BBC years before said he had an idea for an adult puppet show. And at the time it wasn't completely adult, it was aimed more at a Simpsons audience, so it was going to be an 8 o'clock in the evening show. And it was based on a wildlife programme. So if you imagine one of the David Attenborough style programmes, like Life on Earth, and we would first be introduced to an animal, i.e. a fox, who they'd say, "And we're watching the fox, and he's rummaging around in the bins, and we can see he's searching for his mate." And then suddenly the programme would change, and we'd see it from their point of view, and they'd be like, "Oh, those bloody cameras are following us again." God, can't believe that. It was quite nice, so that was the original idea for it. So a group of us got together. There was myself, Adam Miller, who ended up being the director, and it was his baby. And my other colleague Iestyn, who sadly can't be with us today. He's not dead, sorry. He's going to make it today. And another couple of puppeteers that we knew all got together and we filmed it around London using a camera much like this one. And we built some puppets which were a bit more basic. With hindsight, I probably should have brought the old Nelson because he's quite different to how Fox turned up in the series. Anyway, so over the course of a week, we filmed everything around London and Richmond Park and Brixton area, crouching down around bins in the street at night and getting funny looks from a lot of people going by. And we put together about a 20-minute piece to take to different production companies to try and get the programme made. The BBC were really interested, but what we'd given them was too much, far too long. They didn't want to see 20 minutes because it meant they couldn't give any input to how the show was going to change. So they said, "Go away, come back and give us about 4 or 5 minutes of something that's a bit more, got more of an impact to it." So we went off and we did a 5-minute pitch. No, actually, I tell a lie. It was about 3 minutes it came in at. And it was just the same puppet, and we had it talking directly to camera, saying, "You need to buy this show, you're going to love this show, it's great, and this is going to make you loads of money." And we did that, and the BBC loved it. So brilliant. keep saying Iestyn, now you know who he is. Myself and Iestyn were doing very Muppety puppets. We were doing stuff at Kids Theatre. We've done some stuff with some little programmes that have been on UK. And they were very Muppety. It was very plain eyes, very bright coloured fur, lots of moving feather and all that sort of stuff. And the BBC luckily said to us, okay, we want to make this look great. We want to make the production values high on it. So originally they were going to film the whole thing on location. We argued, we said that's a nightmare. What you want to do is you want all these characters walking around, you want them interacting, you want them to be able to turn around and move easily. If you film on location, I'm sorry, I can't say that, if you film on location, most of the time you're going to be like that with the puppet on your arm. That's your range of movement. You can't go anywhere, you can't travel, and you can't do anything. So we said if you want to film this properly, you have to look at the Muppet Show and all the programmes that Jim Henson Company were making, where all your sets are off the ground, nice and high, so that you can walk around. So the puppet floor begins here, which means everything's up on yes, up on like podiums and stuff. So you walk around like this. They listened to us. We argued for it. They didn't want to do it. They listened to us. And at the end, when they saw the first few days filming, they were thrilled. They said, "This is great." The camera department were thrilled because it means they could light everything the way they wanted to light it. So we did a proper pilot for the BBC, which again, the puppets changed when we went to series. We made them even more cartoony than we had done with some of the characters. And that was back in 2009. So it took from 2005 to 2009 to actually get this programme to a point where the BBC said, we will make a series. So it takes quite a long time to get going, and that's not unusual. And that was it. And then we spent the next about 3 to 4 months filming the first series, only 8 episodes, but they wanted to get every puppet from every angle. So we did do some location stuff. They wanted to get some local celebrities in, so it was all timing with that. And it was great, and we were over the moon because the BBC kept up to their word and they gave us money to develop some nice puppets. At the time, all we were doing was very Muppety style puppets. Warrick will probably have one with him, very Muppety when he gets here. And I really loved, I'm really proud, I can say this in my hand on heart, of the aesthetic that we came up with puppets. I think it worked really well. We used very realistic furs from National Fibre Technology in America. We dyed everything up. The only thing, I should never say bad things about the project. The only thing that slightly upset me was that what we ended up doing with the script, and this is the BBC 3, if you're familiar with that channel, it's a very adult channel, and we pushed it out of context a lot. And we ended up going from an 8 o'clock slot to a much later slot of about 10:30, because the content of the script became a lot more adult. Which is fine, but it's a shame because the amount of that in the script is so small that it's enough to put it late at night. If they just adjusted those bits, we're going to know this slot. And I think when you make something beautiful like Mongrels, and for me it was, I think the first day we put a puppet on and held it up against the set, and they lit it, and this is where it's not about the puppets and all that, it's about the set and the lighting, which was just incredible. They made everything breathe and give everything depth. Then you go, oh, this is a shame, we're making something that looks amazing, but you're going to put it on at 10:30 at night. Having said that, I'm really proud of it, and it makes me laugh, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so that's it. Is that enough? Has that been 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. As Pinky was saying, there's going to be a much bigger session about this tomorrow. We'll go into a lot of depth about it, and we'll tell you more stuff.
Actually, it's on Saturday at 2. All the guest event events are in here, in this room. So anyone who goes to a guest event, it's here. Yeah, just so you know. Tomorrow, it's a meeting guest of honor and poetry for beginners. But yeah.
That's me.
When was it filmed?
It was filmed we did the first series in the tail end of 2009 to 2010. So we went over the Christmas period. We finished in February, and I think it came out quite a long time to do the post-production. So it came out in June, I think, of 2010. And then the second series, when we heard we were getting a second series, everyone was like, wow, this is great! And we got to rebuild the puppets. This is Nelson from series 2. So we got to redo that, and we filmed that in a much nicer time. We did that in the summer, so it was much warmer. We got to do lots of outside stuff, we wore shorts, which was great. And that came out around about Christmas of 2000. 2010. So it's quite a while ago, actually, after 2 years. And I'm really glad that I should thank the BBC, because bless them, I phoned them up and said, we'd love to take the puppets with us. And they're all here, just one's in the bar, one's at the garden. So you'll get to see those hopefully later on, but they were really kind enough to lend them to us, because as much as we love them, we developed them, we designed them, they do belong to the BBC. But hey, there you go. Shall I say one quick bit about this episode we watched? Okay, last shot. So the episode, watching 2 episodes today, both from the first series, which are kind of my favourite. I think the first one is the one where Destiny, our female dog, for those who aren't familiar, who's an Afghan hound, learns that you can find out a lot about other creatures by sniffing their bum. And then the second one is when Nelson falls in love. In a way, obviously the fox he falls in love with is on Heat, so that's why he's in love with her, and that's me shutting up.
I just want to say, you guys like the outfit, you actually...
Yeah, little Hawaiian outfit, I thought you was going to come out.
This is exactly for us.
Oh, seriously.
The first one is the one where
Destiny learns to sniff bombs.
That one.
yes. So that's just.
He's just a bit psychotic, a bit nasty, a bit evil. Yeah, well, it comes through in that, which is nice. And also, I like that one because I think the series works best when the humour concentrated on the situation of them being animals. So the minute we hear about the fox sniffing, it's a very animal thing, and I think that's why it works. And again, about, as hideous as it is, the fox is eating their young and all that sort of stuff. When it plays on the strengths of the big animals, I think that's when it was at its best. What else can I say about that episode? It's nice as well because we see this love. We have this Ross and Rachel thing with Nelson and Destiny, the dog, which isn't really a Ross and Rachel thing. It's only a Ross thing. Nelson is forever in love with Destiny, and she just never, she just cannot give them time of day. So it's quite nice that they've touched on that. I'm trying to think of other things we had that were quite fun in there. The bottom sniffing that the woman was doing is Warrick's when it comes to later on, so you know that it's Richie sniffing his bum. And one thing you may or may not, I presume you may know this about Mongrels, you may not, is that as much as we thought at the beginning, we really, really wanted to do all the voices of the characters. It was something we felt quite strongly about. In our opinion, generally as puppeteers, they like doing their own voices. It means one person creates a character, and you can put that character in any situation, and one person can create it. It's nice. For this, they wanted to treat it more like an animation. The BBC were very adamant about this. They wanted to do all the voice recording first, and then we would perform on set to the playback track. Now it works. We wanted to do it ourselves, but what it allowed us to do was make the puppetry better. It allowed us to not worry too much about, having the script there and making sure you stick to the script. We would learn the track, and then we'd be able to have all puppets moving around a lot more, and you could have them doing things easier, having all the arms going. If you look at the Muppets, as beautiful as they are, if you see them in not a film environment, but in a TV environment, they very much walk around like this and they do their lines, and it's all like this, which is brilliant puppetry. We all know that they're the top, the top people in the business. But when you haven't got to worry about the giving delivery of the dialogue, and it's all there for you, it just means that you can make all the hand gestures a lot more. Everything can be just a bit more. I don't know. The puppetry is better in that, I think. Oh gosh, I don't know what to say now. I was gossiping before now.
How long time did it take to film?
Oh right, okay.
That episode?
So we film an episode in approximately 8 days, which is quite a long time for a sitcom. I think it's just a sitcom for BBC. 8 days is a long time to shoot an episode. And mainly because we had 2 cameras that were filming, so we had 1 camera, and again, the other thing is, when you film puppets, generally you have the camera on a tripod, or you have it static, and then it means you get a nice clear frame to work with. But this all had to be handheld. All the cameras were always handheld on my shoulder. And we had 2. We had A cam, which would always kind of get the moan thing, and B cam, which was a chap called Greg. And Greg on B cam, it's so funny. Everyone's got their own little skill, and Greg on the B cam was amazing. He just knew exactly how to frame you so you didn't get the heads in. And in the second series, he wasn't there. Somebody else was, and it wasn't as good because the person didn't quite get how to film the puppets properly. He didn't last long. He was a nice guy. Alex was lovely, but we had to replace him because he couldn't get the hang of it. And Greg came back actually. But yeah, and again, it got a song in there as well. Always really important to have the songs. I don't know how many of you will know the British references that go into a lot of that. Christopher Biggins, who played God. Okay, yeah, okay. So he's a very sort of camp British actor. He goes way back to being in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the film of that. And again, you know, we tried to make it for an international audience, but obviously because it's such an English set and it all looks very English and the humour's quite English, most of our celebrities also English. So we had him in there and Hollyoaks actors. I don't even know who the Hollyoaks actors are. No one never watched it. Yeah. But yeah, it's all on a raised set, and you see we can travel around and you can move a lot more easily, and it's much more fun than being on location. You know what? I'm going to ask if anyone has a question because it's hard to think back. When I was watching it, I thought, what should point out? What should point out? Actually, I can't remember it now. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Yeah, in some episodes it says that Nelson and Vince are brothers, but other people say they're cousins. But then at one point, Nelson ends up wanting to marry Vince's mum, so I can assume they're half brothers and have the same dad.
Yeah, I think the fact that he's going to marry his mum is neither here nor there. It's the Animal Kingdom, and it's kind of all fair game. The other episode we're going to watch shortly will kind of point that out. I always like being as cousins. As far as we were concerned on the set, we decided they were cousins. But they're kind of just like mates. We don't really know how they come together. I wanted to touch on Vince very briefly actually. So Vince, you hear, is the only character, he's not the only character, but he's generally the character that gets beat. So, because he's just so vulgar, they decided to go really down that route to make him absolutely, a real East End nasty piece of work. And they beat him, but they didn't beat on the set, so it's quite funny hearing it, because on the set the full tirade would come out, and there's one when he really goes for it. And you understand, you're trying not to laugh. When you're doing kids' television, and you've got the character, and you're like, oh, well, we're going to go and see to the zoo, we're going to go to the zoo and see the animals, and oh, I forgot my bucket. and it's an outtake. You do it, and it's an outtake, and everyone laughs like that on the set, and you go, that's funny. When you do it on the set, and it's in the script, that's kind of unusual. So when you hear all the swearing on the set, it's you really become desensitized to it. And when you're swearing a lot, someone starts swearing all the time. And Iestyn, bless him, because Iestyn was doing Vince for the series, and his language. I wish you'd met him because he's quite well spoken. Iestyn, he's quite a little bit middle class, and he's just well brought up, has a really nice dialect. His mum brought him up right. And after you finish filming that, it's like this. It just really desensitized him. Luckily, he's calmed down a bit. But I love Vince because we just pushed him, and he dominates the second series a lot, Vince, because of his popularity. Yes.
So, how many episodes were filmed so far?
We did, well, actually that's all done now. We did 8 episodes in the first series. The second series had 8 episodes plus a bonus 9th one, which was sort of behind the scenes with them. But very much staged. And that was it. And sadly, we didn't get a third series. We held out for it, and we thought we might, but the second series didn't quite get the viewing figures we were hoping for, so, which is a shame. But having said that, 2 series, not bad, and they were quite strong episodes, so I'm quite happy to go out on that. That was good. Yes?
Will we ever see Mongrels return to BBC Three, and is there anything you can do to help?
Oh gosh, you know what? There's yeah, I don't know. I would love to. There was rumours when we finished, because we stayed in touch with the production company for months afterwards, that we still talk to them now, and they keep giving us little bits of false hope. Shadow puppets. So I suddenly got to they give us little false hope. They say things like there's still an ember burning at Mongrels. They won't give up the puppets. The puppets they're holding on to them in the basement. There's been rumours that Channel 4 are interested in picking up, or the Dave channel, for those who know the cable channels in the UK. Dave channel spoke about picking it up. They recently the same thing with Red Dwarf, didn't they? They picked that up and run with that. So I wouldn't hold your breath. I think it's probably it, which is a shame.
It needs to come back.
I'd like it to come back. I would like it. I would very much. It's funny, when we finished the second series, we were exhausted. It was quite a long slog. The director, Adam, as lovely as he is, he expects a lot. He really expects a lot. So you'd be shooting way over the normal day to the night. And we did it because we loved it. We had fun. And Puppeteers especially just enjoyed it. You know how people gush when they say it was a good team? And they go, oh, it was the best team we ever worked. Oh, this, that, and the other. This was a great team of people across the board, from right down from the caterer, the caterer people who were running for us, like the producer, the main producer Stephen, who was amazing and flew the flag of puppetry really strongly. It was a really, really great team. So I don't think we can see more. I hope so. Who knows? You have a little bit of hope.
We start a furry mafia and
Yes.
My English is a little bit slow, maybe I don't understand all the things. But it shows for kids. That's right.
No.
That's not my question because the humor was really black and I saw the whole time that that's for kids.
Yeah, it was very much for adults. Originally, it was going to be, do you watch The Simpsons?
Maybe. Sometimes.
Or Family Guy. It was going to be not as
family friendly, is it?
more family. But they BBC Three in the UK, the channel that put it out, they like adult humour. They put a lot of very crude adult humour out. So that's why that became white up. But which was just, some people love that. I think and I like it. There's a lot of it that makes me laugh, but sometimes you laugh through sort of laughing. My favourite bit of all of them was always the musical numbers. I love the musical numbers. I wasn't there for that when I was filming on location while Iestyn was doing the bird, but yeah. Yes.
So that streaming is beeped out after recording? And
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the set, it's all there. Which is great, because yes, there's a great one where Carly, the pigeon, was, I think Destiny, our dog, is having a photo shoot. And Carly keeps saying, you know what's really funny, I'm being quite vulgar here. Carly keeps saying, oh, it's for dog porn, it's for dog porn, it's dog porn. And as she was doing this over and over again, Iestyn's mum, who was in the sort of came in to see how it was being filmed. She came into the set. So I had to bring her in and go, oh, come on, Felicia, let's go have a look, Walked in the studio and Iestyn's character's going, dog porn! We'll get a cup of tea. Yes?
Is the unbleeped version somewhere floating around?
I've got it all. I've got before we started filming, about 2 weeks before we started filming, they would give us the soundtrack, so we could all put them on our iPods and listen to them and get familiar with the rhythms of the speech. And they're all unbelievable, they're all... Actually, I'm trying to think, they all bleeped for the first series. I think the second series, they ended up beeping them, a couple of them. But it's quite funny. Nelson's beeped once, I think, in the whole series. He swears in the second series. And I love it, because he never swears. He's so posh. But the guy who does the voice, again, I'm not going to give much depth, we've got some road to go, and I appreciate that. But the guy who does the voice for Nelson, his name's Rufus Jones. And he's an actor in the UK. He doesn't do major stuff, you don't really see him in huge stuff, but he's a really great character actor. And he's a very strong character actor. He does brilliant little things that will come on and steal a scene for a moment and then go. And he's terribly, he sounds exactly like Nelson. He's terribly wise. And very, very well spoken. And everyone thinks he's gay. He's not gay at all. He's like that all the time. So it's quite nice, and and I didn't have my pancake occasionally, so I really enjoy creating that character with him. Because I think of everyone loves the people that gave their character the voice, but I really loved Rufus. All his delivery and lots of little things he did make it really easy to perform to. It just makes it so easy. And you often think that Fox can do more than he can. just the ears at the eyes. I mean, I heard you go, oh, when he gets turned down, I guess at the end. And actually, all he can do is his ears and ink blink. That's it. It's just blinking in ears, blinking in ears. There's nothing else. But I think we've just by just a little drop, and then the eyes and the ears going, and suddenly you empathise with them. And that's what I loved about these puppets, is how much performance you could get out of them. Some of us pushed it, some of us played it a bit safe, but he's really easy to do. Possibly if you so thin as well, then you get involved with all the things on the ground. So, any more questions? Yes.
Is there any chance the core team would get together and try and develop their own?
Oh, yeah, I mean, the other thing about UK puppeteers, we're a very small group. We're a really small group. You think about how many actors there are in the UK. Puppeteers are tremendously small. There's probably about, I'm not kidding, 35 to 40 of us that generally are lucky enough to get the majority of the work. We always work together. Richard Coombs is the chap who does Destiny. And Richard Coombs is the reason I'm standing here today. He met me 17 years ago and nagged me to give up my job when I was working in a bank. He nagged me to give up my job and said, you've got to chase this. You love it, you enjoy it, you clearly have a knack for it. So, and he nagged me. So we've worked together on a few things. We did a Sesame Street program a few years ago. We've done this. We recently worked together again on the Muppet film. And there's a guy called Harry Hill in the UK who you may or may not be familiar with. He's done a movie and I've worked with him on that. So yeah, we all work together on different projects. But as far as this one goes, I don't know, I think that's probably it. But everyone on it I've worked with again and again, so that's nice. Like this. And sometimes it can weep. But it's all done with a little trigger finger, and I sort of developed that over Sunday one afternoon and wanted to do something that kept all the animatronics, or kept all the movement to a minimum, so that one performer could do it. And then down here, we have little, they lock it. It's really comes to life, he's been in storage for a year, to be fair. That's not working, is it? There we go. So you've got a little movement there. So just for that little setup of, getting set up for something and, you get very simple mechanics. And I believe in, it's really funny to lip sync along with him while I believe in simple mechanics on puppets. So we were debating whether or not to have the eyes at left and right and all that kind of stuff, and we just thought, no, actually, the less they've got, the better it will be. I think the less things you have to worry about, the more you can believe the humour in it. And sadly, I can't quite do the voice. The chap does the voice. I mean, he's just generally kind of posh and a little bit middle class, and that's how we tend to play him. Yeah, so it's I love his little outfit I'm wearing. It's very sexy. But it's nice because one person can do it. Like I said, we wanted the puppets to be a single person, so we would end up velcroing those for that. And although you had somebody else sometimes doing the hands, that's quite a lot of expression from one person. I'm really pleased. So we had those. Again, we'll go into definition, but chatting about it tomorrow. And also we had the little rats, which were always going to link together all our stories. So whatever happened with the rats, they would take us from one season to the next. And we ended up having, I think we had two. This one and the other one. There was only two in the pilot episode. I was only two in the pilot episode, and we built these in a hotel the night before we were filming. We made the sock, the basic sock for the hand, because you can't perform them like that. And we made the basic sock for the hand, and the night before in the hotel we were making little ears and sticking them on and making hands. And the roughness of them became sort of a nice thing. But these were so popular. We lost an afternoon playing with these when we did the prototypes. Because we built them, and then we got a little mirror in our studio, it's about that high. We used to play for hours with them. It's the funniest thing in doing the scene.
As a movie block.
Yeah.
Anyway, how did you do it? You seem to have two layers because the rats seem to always be right in front.
Oh yes, yeah. So basically, he's a little bit. Yeah. So we'd always try and get them up close to the camera. So although we back there was keep it doing that show. Yeah, they would always sort of come in front and talk to the other one. What's nice about it, what we loved about the rats is, again, this was sitting on a train on the way to work, sketching my hand, thinking, well, we know they're going to be hand puppets. So I sketched my hand, and then we thought, actually, this is my knuckle here. But you suddenly get this really nice kind of shoulder. And there was a debate to whether or not they should scurry or whether they should walk upright. And in the end, I think both of our characters ended up being very active, so we kept them all up on their hind legs for the majority. But at one point, I wanted them to all be on all fours when they were travelling, and I'm glad we didn't do that. But we were going to have them all the animals on all fours, and then they would stand up when they needed to do all the, But I love it. I've stolen him. I'm not supposed to have him. They kept all the puppets. The BBC owned them all. I was doing a programme at the BBC last year, a kids programme, and I said, "Oh, I need to get into the puppet box to get some supplies out." When we knew there wasn't going to be another series, I thought I need to get some of my supplies back out of storage, and they let us in. And the minute she turned her back, I was like, "Grab the rats! Grab the rats!" And we've got little fat rats upstairs as well, so I'll bring them down to her. But they're so sweet. It was really. And normally when you do a hand puppet, you have your hand upright like this. I think like Sooty, or you generally have it all upright. But we thought by putting the head like that, suddenly you get this. Normally you do it like that, and the eyes get here. But by kind of punching it over, suddenly it gets really nice and quick.
Like Guignol in France. We have Guignol in France.
Yeah, it's that thing of going like that, which is nice, or having this kind of shadow play. That's it. That's the other thing as well, is that the Muppet, you look at any Muppet, you can tell exactly what Muppet that is by a shadow, just sort of silhouette, and that makes a good puppet. You can tell what that puppet is just by its silhouette. That's a good character. And we tried to do that with this as much as possible. We tried to go, will it create a strong silhouette? And obviously this guy's quite, you can tell that from the background. Can he do it? Can he do it? Or he can't. No, he can't. So, what else about that episode?
Young Christian Society, of course. Anyway, today we're going to talk about mongrels. Mongrels are animals that this is Andy, this is Warrick. Most of you have met them before. There's a couple of faces in here who haven't been here before. That one's Andy, that one's Warrick. Now that I had the chance to talk about them as that one, I think I will sit down and let them do their magic.
That was over. You can see by the change of clothes. My clothes. He said he was saying clothes.
I lost weight.
That was over so many different.
He likes unusual puppets. He likes puppets that operate with different leadership.
So these are the wings. These are like bicycle wings.
So she's quite nice because she's got quite a bit of movement.
She's got attitude.
She's got attitude, and this triple rock thing, you can do quite a lot with that. It's very responsive. Again, there's an art to it, and Iestyn got the hang of reading it quite quickly, and he was able to get the lip syncing.
Andy's doing this now and it looks easy. This is hard to do.
It's quite
I
hard.
can't do this. It's hard. And I said
I can't do it actually. I find it quite hard.
I said to somebody yesterday, it's like, this is, if you know Forever Rock, this is like a doozer with a bird suit. This is how the doozers work.
It is really hard to do, and I never picked her up. I never did her in the program because Iestyn made it look very easy.
The neck's too short.
She's lovely. She's the only puppet that we use like this in the show. To give you an idea, they're fairly expensive puppets. It's not just because it's TV, but they cost a lot to make it. It costs a lot to employ someone to make it.
I mean, it looks expensive too, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Bicycle brakes, expensive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the mechanics inside the head. Actually, can we have a little look at the picture file? Sorry, this has been put together a bit hastily. So if we look at this picture here, right? So that's what we've got inside her. So this is built by an engineer who studied engineering and then got into movies, and his name's John Nolan, and he builds. Oh, you guys would love it. If you get the chance, if you can remember the name, look up John Nolan films and see his show reel. He builds the most incredible body costumes you've ever seen, where they have arm extensions that have massive claws on the end that are amazingly responsive. And he works on all the major films, all the Batman films, all the Titans and all that stuff. He does all that stuff. So when he said he can build us our mechanism for our bird, we're over the moon. And it works really well. So
really well.
Yeah, it's really good. We'll use it if we want to. Again, I think I saw one of these on the puppets yesterday. It's just a composable one that we can use one now.
Let me in.
There we go. Some people didn't like them. They thought they wanted to lose the breasts for the second series, and we fought with them. There was such a part of her, and we wanted to look a bit like a dress. Stop it now, you're being rude. So she's a bigger puppet. She is the most difficult puppet to perform because she's quite tall. And bless we go to Richard, and Richard's got quite short arms. I never really
When you saw Richard was a big guy in the video and had the badger.
Yeah.
And he was Destiny.
But he's got quite short arms, and bless him, he had to wear a hat in the end. He had a raw cap, which we stitched some of the fur onto. So that if his head ever came in the shot.
So yeah, this massive blonde cloth.
Yeah.
Bald actually, yeah.
Bald is cute, yeah. So yeah. And they've got different arms as well, so we can switch the arms. I worked on Destiny's, but she's got another set, which is just rods. Because obviously if you need to run around the set quickly, you don't want two people running around. So they're pretty much like that. So
Yeah,
and
they just tack into the body. I always like seeing when she leaves the scene with moving hands and then runs into the next scene with this.
Oh yeah.
I just enjoy that.
I like that, yeah, because it dates back to the Muppets and stuff like that, especially Mini Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
Because Moki Fraggle would do the same thing. She'd be all like hand and then suddenly you see it with clogs on. And I love that. I really go with that. So yeah, they were all quite modular. So all the bodies would split here. So we take the bottom half off and put the legs on. And you don't really want the legs dangling in your face all the time when you're performing. Every now and then you want to see them on the screen. So we would just unclip this. It's all very modular. It's all clipped up. I can show you Vince's arm. Again, with all the arms, if you roll up the sleeve here, there is a little clip, which comes apart really easily. I bet your stick's in. What are you doing? It's fine. There we go.
We have these.
So they've all got little, these little black clips on, which is great. Which means we can put in an arm-shaped hand instead, if you want to rig it or if you want to do something special with it, and you don't need a rod nose. So that's there.
And this is like a little trick that we use a lot. So if instead of having a hand like that with a rod, say a bottle or something, with another rod in the bottle, we would take this arm out and then rod the prop.
Yes.
And then have that hand hold the prop, so it's just a bit cleaner. There are not loads of rods everywhere. There's just one rod. It doesn't make that much of a big deal, but it looks pretty.
Something I want to mention. We lost an afternoon with these when we designed them.
That's my favourite rat. I don't know if anybody's paid enough attention to see the rats.
No, this is my favourite.
But this is the yellow-eyed rat, which looks like he's eating something really bad.
This looks like he's eating everything. The rats became our bottom feeders. They were, they were kind of not in that sense, no. They were the lowest of the low. They were the ones that got abused. They were the ones this is in the pilot. They were the ones that got beaten up and the ones that got eaten. They never speak. You never hear them talk. Which is really nice. And these were a joy to do. This is funny because you could steal a scene. It's such a small thing. You could steal a scene.
Actually, my very first shot in the series was with that rat.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a scene with Nelson and Destiny were there. And to me, Andy and Richard, who were Nelson and Destiny, they're like these amazing puppeteers, and I was the newbie, and I was like, God, don't let me ruin this. When they say, you're a rat, so I was like, easy, rat. No, easy. No. So Nelson and Destiny were having a conversation. Destiny has to throw something over her shoulder, and then it has to hit the rat has to go, and then run for his shot. Yeah. And it was really hard until the thing, whatever he threw, kind of came down and went, boing! And then I remember it was perfect. It was just good. Yeah. Well, by accident, it was perfect.
Now, what we didn't find these around enough. I wanted to see them being thrown a bit more. Yeah. We're big fans of throwing puppets. Really, it's so important. You've got to throw dollies. They're just. We did an X Factor thing. You have X Factor, right? We did an X Factor thing in England a couple of years ago.
Do you have X Factor here? Yeah. Britain's got talent. Oh, we do. Germany's got talent. Whoever's got talent.
Yeah. Someone's got talent. And they had the Muppets on again. And we did. We had penguins. Penguin Muppets on. We had changing it quite dramatically to the other characters. But we love the foxes. I mean, the foxes are just. Everyone loves foxes, right? They're just great characters. They're just cool.
And they're lovely puppets to use too. They're so loose.
But the second series, we increased that family. So we had another 1, 2.
We had a baby, Nelson.
Yeah, we had a baby.
We had a baby Nelson. We had a baby Marion. We had a baby. Oh, we had in the pilot. There were pups. Destiny's pups.
Destiny's pups. Yeah.
And we used them as pigs. We put some pig snouts on them.
And then from a pig, it became Destiny, young Destiny.
Baby Destiny.
Yeah. So we really did chop them up and change them quite a lot. And again, that's just the fun. Cuddly Vince. So Cuddly Vince was there was a cutaway where Vince is trying
I really
to
wanted to take this over, they wouldn't let me.
Oh yeah, we've got it in our studio. Oh, we kept him. They wanted to do a commercial, that's right, for Cuddly Vince. And they said, we're not going to, they couldn't afford, because you have the chance of making these things, they couldn't afford to have us make a Cuddly Vince. So they rewrote it with a card, and instead he has, it's Vince's birthday card, and he opens the card and he goes, your card. Okay, and that's what it did. But we thought that was lame, we thought that's a real lame thing to do. So we built it, we did it anyway, and we did it in a day. I think we started it in the evening and it was ready the next morning, and we didn't tell the director, which was great. So when it came to shoot it the next morning, and bless, they had a little tiny kid, who was
They're
great.
the sweetest little boy. If you've seen the thing, they've got the sweetest little boy sat there, and he squeezes it, and his mum stood there.
we didn't have it swear.
No, but he's supposed to say, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
His mum's there, and I was like, oh God, what's going to happen here?
But he was brilliant, and so we built him in we started in the evening, and it was finished next morning with you. And when they came to talk to us about merchandising, which they did, we had a big discussion about merchandising with all people. And we showed them that and went, this is what people are asking for. They want a talking Vince that swears. So he's the only piece of merchandise that exists, and he's really sweet. He's got a proper beanbag on. He's got a label fitted. He's even got pull string on the back.
They did do, when you do a TV show, they'll put together a press pack of images and stuff and ideas for the merchandise. They did that, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
and
they did.
me and him did a whole photo shoot with all the characters from the merchandise, and all those guys in funny poses. And
we waited.
And then made lovely graphics, and I think the graphics only ever ended up on when you buy the 2-pack DVD, there's a lovely colourful graphic on the front of all 5 characters, 5 characters. And that was going to be like the brand and stuff.
But you realise how much stuff we film that doesn't get used. Like if you've got the DVDs, the second series DVD, we spent an afternoon or towards the end of the shoot.
I doesn't have anything on it, it's rubbish.
I know, we did a whole thing where we filmed behind the scenes stuff.
It's second behind the scenes.
We did a brand new menu, a really beautiful brand new menu for the DVD, which took a couple of hours, a few hours to shoot.
And I shot hours, like the stuff I showed you earlier, I shot hours and hours of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I gave it all to them.
Yeah. And no, they didn't do it. So
Some
I'm
of
sorry
the
you didn't see that.
Some of it ended up on the BBC website, but I think you can only see that if you're in the UK.
Well, we allowed to upload stuff to YouTube.
I've got to go with that.
We've got tons.
boxes.
There was a lot of that. That's not good.
Excuse me, I'm...
Do you know, I don't think I even got married. Get the married. That's one, just this one here.
Anyone, please! I'm not supposed to be here!
Oh, this could be worse.
Marion, we're getting stroked day in, day out, whether we consent to it or not. How can it possibly be any worse?
We could literally be being forced into having sex with people.
That's not one.
The fox got himself in too deep.
Oh.
He's not here.
Well,
Right, I'm going to come and jump in with you.
Anyone, please! I'm not supposed to be here!
come, this could be worse.
Marion, we're getting stroked day in, day out, whether we consent to it or not. How can it possibly be any worse?
We could literally be being forced into having sex with people.
That's right, you just blow the whole subject.
You see how quick that goes?
Now, obviously, if we didn't have stuff that was going on, like the pacing or Marion being there, it could play as quite boring. So that's how you sort of fit in with the action as well. If it was just two heads sort of going over the dialogue, it wouldn't be terribly exciting. So you try and find things to spruce it up and make it interesting.
And that's when an assistant comes in good on the hands, because they can do things that I can't manage to do with just...
Yeah. I haven't got any hands, look. So,
My voice could have been throaty, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, because, well, again, I think the throatiness still makes it sound a bit nervous, but
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
And he seems vulnerable as well, so it's brilliant, because you can just, I can instantly read all the things that the character's going to be like, how he's going to feel.
yeah.
A little deeper.
Let me try one.
Yeah, go on, you go.
You say that, okay. Go and shout things. I want...
Crazy.
Crazy's more of a style. Crazy's more of a style, which you should put in later, I think.
So you have to start with placement first, right?
Let's try
Hyperactive.
What, sorry?
Hyperactive.
Hyperactive?
That can be hyperactive.
Yeah, in the voice, not in the video.
Placement has to come first.
Well, let's say placement, for instance, in your nose.
Okay, well, I've done that already, but fine, it's in the nose. Yeah.
Oh, now this is important as well. Is try not. I just did it as well. Try not to put too much character into it initially. Try and be yourself, but with a nasal voice.
Okay, it's in the nose now.
Stomachy. Stomachy. Stomach.
From your stomach. Try your stomach instead.
This
is it. It's really hard. Try and speak from your stomach.
Is it going to get deep then?
Yeah, it's fine.
Projected.
Okay, yeah, there's throaty. I think that's in the stomach, is it? I'm tense in my stomach.
That's great. That's really nice.
Okay.
Okay. And now I want to hear is fast or slow? What do you think?
Slow.
Okay, it's in the stomach. It's slow. It doesn't. I don't know if it looks like the character, but it's there.
Okay. Now I want you to put a different rhythm in. So I want your rhythm to be really repetitive rhythm that doesn't really.
I'm here. I'm the dog. Yeah, and I'm slow here. Thank you. Any more things that you can add to this?
Yeah, I want you to have a list.
Yes. Yes, it's slow and it's here, and I think I need a dentist. There's a problem with this.
Yes.
And you also can't pronounce the R.
Can't pronounce the R. Perfect.
This is really, really sad. I can't pronounce my R's or I can't pronounce my S's. It's because I'm nervous.
So we're just going to demonstrate a little bit of a more fun thing to do. and they're not obliged to do something. Dark enough? Can't work, does it?
You'll need it that dark if you want to see the projector.
Don't worry, I'll go for the light.
Thing, Andy. Standing in front of the projector.
This isn't about showing off, this is just showing you something. That's just right again.
It's synchronizer. The Lord says today I can't be with you.
But tomorrow we can do whatever we want to do.
I can love you.
Oh yes.
And you can love me. Thanks to these sexual offenses at 2003.
One day you're a pedo.
And you're my giant bait.
Next day you're my sweetheart.
And it's suddenly legal to mate. What a difference today makes. Just can't wait till the dawn breaks. Right now you can't handle the love of a man.
From tomorrow you can give it me as hard as you can.
One day I'm a pervert.
And I've still got my virginity.
But in less than 15 hours it's a legal technicality.
Actually, I'm not a virgin.
Difference a day makes. Then we can legally fornicate. I never dream of breaking the law today. But tomorrow it's my right to do you every which way. What a difference a day makes.
Let's elope together. I can be your fiancé.
No, not. What a difference a day makes.
Range of character voices. That's been one of her training, and she's does a lot of radio plays. She does a lot of commercial stuff. When we heard the voice, the puppet wasn't quite finished yet, and it had to be an adorably cute cat. So you can see how
You know, like that she had this lovely voice until mine.
that comes sprinkles, where she's going to fall off, aren't they? She comes sprinkles, where suddenly she went from being, you do know your first falling out. Watch it, Slimy, or I'll fucking have you. So she's like, I'll cut you, Missy, and you'll fucking know it. So
I'm looking for the old.
Sorry? You might, thank you very much. Okay. Oh, we're not going to use the Mongrels puppets for this. Which one are you going to do? This one. Do you want to do nuts? You're crazy. Not married.
Oh, I don't. You can go.
It's a crazy cat.
You have to come in front of it.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the old abandoned Mississippi fried chicken.
Folks say it's haunted. Folks say you can still hear the lost soul screaming at night as they dibble in the batter. Folks say you spend the night there, said you Maya.
And do these folks perhaps say where it is?
Folks say it burnt down 100 years ago. Nothing left but ash and ghosts.
Right, so that wouldn't be it over there?
Oh, Mississippi fried chicken. Sorry, I could have sworn you said Nightmare Abbey.
This is my reinvented Google Maps.
So, you got it. Well done. Well done. We did some trickery. There you go, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, don't worry about putting your hands in that. I'll have it. That's fine. Okay, so if you sit up here and find yourself in this monitor, if you go up to one. Okay. That's great. Should we do that same track again, actually? Because you've heard it. We'll do the same track again. Is that okay? It's the third one down. What's it, the second? That's it. So we're going to switch. So you're going to be the first voice that comes in. excuse me, and you're going to be the crazy guy, okay? Don't worry too much about being too crazy with it. We're going to do more about the lip sync and following it. But actually, if you feel confident, like, you know what? There you go. Here we go.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the old abandoned Mississippi Fried Chicken. Folks say it's haunted. Folks say you can still hear the lost soul screaming at night as they dip them in the batter. Folks say you spend the night there, said you Maya. And do these folks perhaps say where it is? Folks say it burnt down 100 years ago. Nothing left but ash and ghosts. Right, so that wouldn't be it over there? Oh, Mississippi Fried Chicken. Sorry, I could have sworn you said Nightmare Abbey.